Dan, the floor is yours. I think we shall begin.
Thank you, Shai. And thank all of you. I see there's a very significant participation in this meeting, um, which is very nice to see. I think over the last 5 weeks since October 7th, we've all been dealing with horrific sadness and depression deriving from the events of October 7th and what's ensued. And I hope everybody feels some of what I feel, which is a measure of comfort from getting together with you, my friends, my colleagues, in our efforts to help direct the activities of the Hebrew University, but also to share in the experience. And it would clearly be better if we could be together in person, but just seeing your faces in these little boxes and having the chance to share some of what's going on does provide some comfort. I hope it does for all of us. At our meeting in June, I raised a question about the role of a university, and particularly the Hebrew University, in dealing with political issues, pressing political issues, in some measure existential political issues. And we haven't really resolved that question. But I think one question that has been resolved for us is the role of the Hebrew University in dealing with the situation that Israel and world Jewry is confronting today. And I was particularly gratified and pleased to see the response of our president, Asher Cohn, our rector, Tamir Sheffer, in helping to educate their colleagues, the leadership of universities, particularly in North America, but also around the world, in terms of distinguishing between free speech and academic independence, which we all support, distinguishing that from condoning and being complicit in supporting evil. And I was also heartened to see that not only did their letters go out in cooperation with other leadership of other Israeli institutions, but it had some impact, I think. Some of the universities that had not taken stands and that were condoning horrific anti-Semitic acts on their campuses have gotten better. I wish I could say that it was universal, that all the universities that are allowing this bad behavior to continue, this evil behavior to continue, have sprung into action. That is not the case. And I focus on universities because that is where a lot of the most anti-Semitic action is taking place, but it's not confined to universities. We're seeing a rise of anti-Semitism around the world. That's troublesome, that's dangerous, and that may be existential in its effect. And so it's very important for the leadership of the Hebrew University to do what it's been doing. But I don't want to confine it just to the leadership, the administration of the university. I think all of us have a role. All of us can be taking steps in our local communities to counter what's going on in terms of support for anti-Semitism. I was heartened by the initial response worldwide, which seemed to be condemnation of the atrocities committed by Hamas. But what we've seen over the last 5 weeks is an erosion of those condemnations and this horrific rise in anti-Semitism. And I think we can each play a role. Very heartened to see a gathering of perhaps 200,000 people around France yesterday, the Israeli flag appearing on the Brandenburg Gate, a rally tomorrow on the Mall in Washington, D.C., where Pamela Emmerich said yesterday it's an expected crowd of 60,000 people. What I'm hearing is it could well be multiples of that, declaring their support for Israel and their condemnation of anti-Semitism. But again, I think we all have a role to play in this, and I urge all of us individually and on behalf of the university to express our views and to make sure that we make it clear that there is no tolerance for anti-Semitism. I come back to what I said earlier, that there is this overwhelming sadness, depression, PTSD over the loss that was suffered on October 7th, the abduction of innocent civilians as hostages who are still being held in Gaza, and the loss of life, not just on October 7th, but continuing brave soldiers of the IDF venturing into Gaza to help rescue hostages and to help put an end to Hamas. And with that in mind, I'd like to turn the microphone over to our Director General, Yishai Frankel, for some words.